Hey, what's going on, guys? Krosama here. So I am just going to do a quick overview of the newest painted build I just did, which is the Phenex Unicorn Type RC. And this is also the version Gundam based Tokyo. So basically, it being a Gundam based Tokyo meant it was not plated. And yeah, it was just a normal release, to be honest. And it also came with some decals. So that was the only real reason it was Gundam based Tokyo. So much more affordable than the plated version that was also bundled in with the golden Phenex. So yeah, I'm pretty happy to get this version because it was just metallic injection. So painting it was super easy, and did a couple of modifications, as you can see, with the extended arms for the DE armed arm shields, and I also did added the beam effect parts. But let's go into a little bit of the paint. So for starters, I use a Gaia Notes Surfacer Evo Black for pretty much every single thing except for the cycle frame. But yeah, everything was just a black primer. Next, I used Mr. Finishing Surfacer Pink. I did not want to use this. I actually wanted to use Gaia Notes Pink. However, I started painting this around the New Year's, so every single hobby shop near me was pretty much closed, and all the other big name stores like Adeon and Yamada Denki, they don't actually sell Gaia Notes. They just really stick with Mr. Color and all that. So I found one hobby shop that was opened, I think the day after New Year's, or maybe 2 days after New Year's, and they didn't have any Gaia Notes Pink Surfacer, but they did have this one. So I was like, you know what, it's fine. But I used this for the beam effect parts as well as the cycle frame. And so next I use the Star Bright Silver by Gaia Color, metallic color. Really enjoyed this. It looked really good. I wish I could show you. I didn't actually do any recordings or anything, but it looked absolutely magnificent before I did the Mr. Color GX Clear Black. This idea was from Forge over in my Discord. I was kind of asking a lot of people what their ideas were when it came to trying to replicate the original color, because the color of this mobile suit in the little short, it's almost black, but it has a metallic color, and I was like, I don't want to do a black metallic. I want to do a silver metallic, because everywhere else it's silver. It's silver plated in the plomo, and in a lot of illustrations it's silver, but it looks black, and that's probably because of the lighting in the OVA. It's fairly dark in that little short, but yeah, I think it came out great using the Star Silver. I actually really like this color, so I'm probably gonna be using it in the future. And there's other Star colors. There's Star Bright Gold, Star Bright, I think Blue, Star Bright, red, I think. There was a bunch of different colors, so I think I might just go ahead and buy a bunch of them. And they're only 385 yen, so that's $2 for a bottle. So yeah, I might just stock up on some. Next, as you can see with the backpack and the feet, I basically just did a metallic blue, about 2 thin coats on that. Came out really good. I have no issues. I think what I need to start learning is how to basically use that compound wax, almost the buffer, so that way I can make it a little bit more glossy. That's something I want to try out in the future when I do another glossy kit. So I think the metallic blue came out perfect, to be honest. Maybe I should have went a darker blue, but I think this is fine. Alright, so next, with all the inner frame parts that you see, I decided to go with steel. I think steel was just a really good color, to be honest. I liked it. I think it was fine. There was also black steel, but I was like, that's going to be way too dark. So I didn't want to be too dark because I made that mistake with the Death Scythe. So I was like, I need something that is going to be fairly dark, but not darker than the armor itself. But I think it actually still ended up being a little bit darker than the armor, which is fine. But yeah, the armor looks good in comparison with, or in relation to the inner frame. So I think they blend pretty well. Now let's talk about the Psycho frame. So with this, I did the pink surfacer first, and then I did fluorescent red. On top of the fluorescent red, I did the premium metallic deep red. It's a, yeah, I guess when I read this, I just completely skipped the word deep. So the metallic is a lot darker than I wanted. I wanted it to actually be a little bit lighter, but I think it actually worked out pretty well because I kind of did like a post shading effect. So I did the fluorescent red first, and then I did the deep red, and then I did like a clear red on top. So yeah, it's a weird combination of like 3 different reds, and I think I did a little bit of white in the middle of like each part, just to kind of like bring out the metallic a little bit more. So I think it worked out in my favor. It's just that a downside, because this is a high grade, a lot of the smaller parts you're not going to see the effect because it's a little bit harder for me to really get that like the brighter shading, I would say. Yeah, I don't really know how to explain it. Like I basically did like a post shading on top of the shading I've already done. To me, it looks good. I still think it looks great, at least face to face, like in my view right now, but on camera maybe it's not translating as much, but I just wanted to have the effect of it kind of glowing a little bit, so I do hope that kind of worked. And I essentially did the same for the beam saber effect parts. I didn't do any metallic, but I did paint it with the pink surfacer, and then I did white, and then I did clear red. Oh no, sorry, fluorescent red, and then I ended the tips with the clear red. Now, next for the beam magnum, I just used Gaia Notes gunmetal. Yeah, it's just a really good color overall to use. And then just for that little like tip of the like ammo pack, I guess like the magazine rack, I just used intermediate blue. I felt like that was a pretty good color to use just for that. And it's a little bit hard to see, but for the camera, I did use a fluorescent green. Now for the eyes and the head camera, I did use the Mr. Hobby Violet. I could not find any fluorescent like purple. I looked everywhere and it just seemed like fluorescent purple or just like any kind of super bright purple did not exist where I live. So unfortunate, but I was like, you know what? I don't want to just wait around and order paint online and have this kit just kind of sitting like in a work in progress state. I was like, I just want it built now. So in the future, I mean, maybe if I come across like a fluorescent purple, I'll actually go over this kit again, disassemble the head and, paint the eyes and the head camera. Yeah, do another like clear coat right over the, those 2 segments, and it actually will look pretty good. But for right now, even though it's a little bit darker, I think it's fine. Like I'm not really like going crazy and losing sleep over it. All right, so last things to note. Let's see. I used some metal etching for a lot of those little joints in the arm parts for the binders, as well as the elbow and the knee parts. I just used some little metal etching that I found over at my hobby shop. And I used purple decals. These decals were a lot bigger than I really wanted. They are 1 in 144 scale, but their shapes and styles maybe weren't exactly what I wanted. But after going online and asking like Discord and Twitter what like they would prefer out of these, the gold decals, or sorry, the silver decals, or the standard like white unicorn decals, I asked them like what would they prefer, and they basically said, yeah, go with purple. I think the purple does bring a lot of like extra flavor to it. Originally this kit has red decals, but I was like, you know what, let's try something different. I was all on board for the purple, that I kind of like second guessed myself, but then I got right back on board when I went ahead and started like putting it all together and finishing it up. Now, before I do all like the detail painting and the panel lining as well as decals, I always put a clear coat on. So for this, I actually put clear for metallic, and it worked like a charm. It wasn't really glossy, and it doesn't say gloss anywhere on the bottle, at least from what I've translated. So I just put this on, and yeah, that's when I went ahead and did all my decals and my panel lining, and the panel lining I did was just black. I did make a fluorescent red panel line for the cycle frame for all the lining, but it really doesn't come out that well. You can like really barely see it, so it's kind of pointless. And it looks fine as is. I really didn't need to panel line the cycle frame. And then once I got all those details done, I used the EX Clear Gloss, which was great up until I got to the last parts, which was the arm DE binders. So when I started applying it to that, it started frosting, and I think the reason was because it was cold outside. I had the window open, and I think the parts themselves started to get cold, and my room was kind of getting a little cold, but like I wasn't cold personally, but everything beforehand was perfect. I had no frosting on any other part up until I got to the binders. So that was really weird. I kind of like semi-panicked, but then I looked online just to find ways to rectify it, because I never had frosting before on any of my kits. So this is the first, and I was like, what the hell am I going to do? And I found out that cleansing oil is actually one of the best ways to get rid of it. And sure enough, my wife had cleansing oil in the bathroom. I took a little cotton swab, I used it, and it got rid of all the frosting immediately and did not come back. So I didn't have to do another top coat. The clear gloss was already like still applied. So I had no issues. Yeah, after that, it looks like it all came out perfectly fine. But that is all from me, guys. I just want to do a little bit of a showcase of this model. Yeah, I've already done the review, so you guys already seen the full review on this kit. It's nothing groundbreaking. It is a Gundam Unicorn kit through and through. This is a Phenex. It's just Unicorn. So I'm not going to tell you like, oh, you got to go out and get it. It's going to be, you know, a centerpiece in your collection. Maybe a perfect grade, sure. Maybe even the master grade if you decide to paint in these colors. But for the high grade, don't break the bank to try and get this. If you do want to paint one, there's 1,000 alternative ways to do this if you want this particular color scheme, so you don't have to do what I did and get the RC version and then on top of it the Gundam Front Tokyo version. I'm not sure how much that's going for online right now, but you can easily just get a regular Phenex and paint in these colors. You might have to just find a metal injection version, which they have plenty of, or even get the narrative version and just strip the coating, and you'll get the same thing. Like, that's the kit is exactly the same. So yeah, and the reason, if you're wondering why I have like the dual beam sabers in the Tonfa mode or whatever, that is because that's how it is in the little short. It uses those two. It uses the beam magnum as well, but for a good portion at the end, it uses the two beam sabers in this kind of form. So I like it. I think this looks great. I love the red cycle frame. I love the silver. This looks good, like, and this is kind of like a prototype to the Phenex, if I'm not mistaken, or the Phenex. I think so. I think before the Phenex actually gets created, this is the first version of it. But I don't think any of it's canon, to be honest. So, but that's it. Just want to make a video. I don't know how long this is going to be, so maybe it's going to be quick, maybe it's going to be super long, not sure. But if you have been with me throughout this entire ride in this video, thank you for watching. Please like and comment, subscribe if you have not already, and let me know in the comment section below what other kits you would like to see me paint, because maybe I'll put that kit to the side and sometime this year I'll go ahead and paint it. But I kind of already have an idea of what kits I will be painting for the rest of the year, but there are going to be some maybe down times that I won't really have anything to paint, and I'll pull whatever you recommend. But yeah, that's it for me, guys. Thank you all for watching, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Bye bye.